What's up, guys? Welcome to Gwhisky. I'm Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around at the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below, and with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today we're looking at the Deanston 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine cask finish. Should be fun. Stick around. Okay, a Deanston today. This is a very popular brand that I don't touch on very much on the channel. I did talk about the Virgin Oak cask strength not long ago, but beyond that, I don't cover them much. Does Deanston make good whiskey? Yeah, of course they do, but it's not really my brand. Not that I dislike them, it's just that they've never really wowed me. The 12 is a very popular one. A lot of people like it. A lot of enthusiasts like it. That one doesn't really excite me much. I think the 18 is very good, but again, not particularly exciting. Definitely very good for the money. Yeah, always decent. But I don't think I've ever had a Deanston that really blew my socks off. Every time I have a Deanston, socks stay on. But you never know, that might change. Today we're looking at the 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine cask finish. This one is a travel retail exclusive, and it came out like 6 years ago, 2017, 2018, around there. This one was first matured in bourbon casks, and the finish on the Deanston 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine finish, I'm going to leave a mystery. I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, people seem to like this one. It's got a good score on Whiskey Base, and it seems to be appreciated by the masses. I figured it was worth trying, even though, as I said, Deanston, not really my brand. And beyond that, a red wine cask influence does not always work for me. Sure, there are some good ones, but it's a mixed bag. So on paper, this whiskey is not a guaranteed hit, but open-minded I am. I don't know why I said that like Yoda. Anyway, as I said, this one is a travel retail exclusive, and I don't know how it is in other markets, but oftentimes here in Taiwan, a lot of these travel retail exclusives are available just in like the local shops here in town. This was one of them. So I don't know how many of you guys are going to have to travel to pick this one up, but I didn't. Anyway, I guess that's our intro covered, so let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that would be greatly appreciated. For our specs, this one comes in at the Deanston standard of 46.3%. It is non-chill filtered, and it is natural color. For our look, this one is a standard Deanston bottle. I like it. They're going for that sort of like craft, signature, stamped on, old-timey industrial thing. Looks cool. We'll give it 3.5 out of 5. This one does say non-chill filtered. It does not say natural color, at least not anywhere on the label. It might on the box. I don't have the box. But that's always a weird move. If it's natural, and this is natural color, why not say it? Anyway, we do get tasting notes on the back, and beyond that, not much of note here. The bottle looks decent. We're missing the natural color statements. Yeah. On the nose, we get red wine and a lot of it. This is very earthy. It's very drying. We get a strong raspberry note. We get dark berries, dark plums. There's toffee, molasses, marzipan, kind of like a very sweet barbecue sauce, like a sweet rib sauce. It's definitely a cask-dominated nose. On our palate and finish, we get lots of sweet red berries up front. We get a lot of very rich honey. I get stuff like raspberry, blackberry, elderberry, all the berries, all the dark berries. There's Concord grapes, there's figs, there's very dark chocolate, almost unsweetened chocolate. There's chili in here, there's tannins, there's cloves, and there's some marzipan. We have a medium finish on some sweet red fruits, and even a touch of a watermelon note, which is interesting. Okay, so if you were worried that the cask influence in this would not be strong enough, you do not need to worry. I'm sure none of you were worried about that, but if you were worried about that, you would not need to worry about that. I don't know what I just said. I need to stay on script. The point is the casks here are not subtle at all, and that's fine. You can have a lot of very cask forward or even cask dominated whiskeys that turn out great. I do occasionally love a good sherry bomb or a cask bomb, I guess you could say, and some of them work out great. Did this one work out? Yes. In terms of flavor, this is not really what I was expecting, which is weird because Deanston, at least usually for me, is a very predictable whiskey. Like if you tell me there's a Deanston with a certain cask makeup, I can usually kind of imagine it first, and then when I actually get to try it, it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be. Some of the elements here, yes, I did see them coming. Of course, like a strong cask influence, saw that coming. The fruitiness, the tannins, saw those coming. All that wood, saw it coming. That's what she said. But all that earthiness, the intense raspberry, the dark chocolate, the chili, and just the general overall weightiness of this whiskey, those I didn't see coming. Like, this is a very dark whiskey. It's not quite brooding like, let's say, a Cavalan or an Edred Dower, but it's just a very rich and very heavy whiskey. So if you're looking for a typical Deanston or like those classic Deanston flavors, Deanston is kind of like it's on the lighter side of Highland whiskeys. It often gives us like cereals and florals. Personally, I always get like a cologne note from them. That is way at the back of this whiskey. This whiskey is 95% cask, so that is something to be aware of. But that said, I do think it's well done, and I like that this offers something different from the usual Deanston suspects at this price point. So if you're looking for that classic Deanston, you can turn to the 12. And if you want a Deanston with more of like a woody vanilla twist, you can go to the Virgin Oak. That one is extremely cheap. And if you want something that is darker, heavier, richer, fruitier, and yeah, a little bit more complex, that's this one. And I actually appreciate that. I appreciate that this contributes something different to the Deanston lineup. Even though on paper this would not typically be my go-to style of whiskey, I do like the fact that this adds something different to the group. Beyond that though, I just legitimately like these flavors. I think it's a really interesting twist on Deanston. Now this is definitely not one for the purists. This is not one for the I want to taste the distillate crowd. I'm a card-carrying member of that crowd, but I still really like this. For score here, I'm going to land on 86. I think we have a great cask influence. It's not too sweet. It's a different approach to Deanston. It's far from my go-to style, but still, I would say that this is my favorite affordable Deanston. I like this much more than the 12 and certainly more than the Virgin Oak. And that's coming from someone who's not convinced by heavy cask influences and is not convinced by red wine influences. So I'm as surprised as you guys. This is highly recommended. Now, before we do jump into value, I do want to say a quick thank you to my patrons and my channel members. Guys, thank you so much for the help. And if you want to help out, if you want to help keep the channel financially sustainable and independent, there are a number of ways that you can help. I have both Patreon and PayPal listed down below. Anything and everything helps, guys. And again, massive thank you to those of you who are already helping out with the channel. Now let's check out value. For value, I think we have an excellent value buy here. This one is about 45 US, so roughly 35 pounds, worth every penny of that. It is craft, it is unique, it is flavorful, and it's easy to drink. Obviously, you do need to remember that this is all cask. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you've heard that, you've heard the description, and you're still interested, then yes, definitely one worth picking up. Hopefully, you don't need to go to the airport to get this one. You don't need to buy a plane ticket to get this one. It's easy to get your hands on. And if you can get your hands on it, great value, definitely worth it. Okay, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, I want to hear from you. So have you tried our Deanston 10-year-old Bordeaux red wine cask finish? What are your thoughts on it? Did you pick it up at the airport, or could you find it at your local retailer? Is it worth the money? Is it good value? Let me know all of that down below. Finally, down below, you can also tell me what you want to see me review down the line, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.